Hello, AISD teachers. My name is Keisha Waters. I am also a teacher at Jones Academy here in Arlington ISD. I will be narrating this video for second grade Instructional Framework Unit 3 video. Before we begin, I would like to recommend that you have a copy of the Unit 3 Instructional Focus documents, which can be found on the Curriculum Central website. In this Unit 3 video, I will expand on a few of the valuable components found in the instructional focus documents. By delving deeper into these components of the IFDs, it is my goal to help you understand the how and the whys of the purpose of within the IFD. This unit begins with a focus on basic facts and number sense, which the students have experience applying those strategies and properties within problem situations. Students will also continue to build understanding about the base 10 system within quantities to 500. This unit contains 8 bundles. The teaching time frame for each bundle is an estimated time frame which can be flexible by a few days. TTU stands for throughout the unit. The content of these bundles can be taught through daily mathematical routines such as number talks or calendar math. If you are not familiar with these resources, please talk to your instructional coach on your campus. Here are a list of the TEKS that can be found in Unit 3. The TEKS span over all the reporting categories. These TEKS can be bundled and taught in multiple of one lesson. These TEKS are supporting and readiness standards that can be found on the TEA website. Here you have a list of the big ideas. The big ideas found in this unit support the student expectations that are listed in the standards. These big ideas are reflective of the bundle's overview found in Unit 3. At this point, we'll discuss a few other instructional approaches that can be used within the classroom. I'll begin with the language-rich classroom, which is reflective of vocabulary. A language-rich math classroom must allow students to encounter math vocabulary orally and in writing. Like all vocabulary, mathematical terms must be used again and again in context until they become internalized. A language-rich classroom in which mathematical terminology is used regularly is used in discussion, problem solving, and in writing. This can make a big difference in how effectively children learn mathematics. Posting math vocabulary in classrooms, such as on word walls, is one way to ensure that mathematical vocabulary is used on a daily basis. Here is an example of how I use vocabulary in my classroom to make it interactive. Kahoot is one of my favorite interactive online games. It is something that I use to deliver instruction for math vocabulary. I use it as a form of formative assessment to assess students um, to assess students' knowledge of the vocabulary terms. So just to give you some insight to what it looks like, I'm going to switch to Kahoot. And in my Kahoot profile, I am able to create my Kahoots by going to New Kahoot. The last Kahoot I created was a Unit 2 vocabulary, part 2, because for my grade level, I have several vocabulary words and they're broken down by unit. And here I've created a Kahoot, which can be found publicly. If you just type in K Waters, you should be able to find it publicly. And you have the ability to make it public or private. And I apologize, I said it was public. Unit 2 is private. I have Unit 1 or Unit 2 Part 1 that is public. And when you're able to create a Kahoot, the kids can play it. You can play it in a classroom setting where you have the ability to control how the quiz is delivered. If you create a quiz, you can have the quiz played as a team, or you can have the quiz played one to one. You can also create classroom discussions and surveys, which I also use for vocabulary. Once you've created the Kahoot and the students have played it, then you're able to download results, which is another favorite um, feature of Kahoot, because once you download the information, it gives you the data and the feedback from the game. And as you can see here for Unit 2, 83.75% of my students had correct answers, which makes me happy. Um, and so here I'm able to see what the overall was, and I also got feedback from the students whether they enjoyed it or not. And it looks like we got a good review here. I was also able to look at the final score, so if I wanted to use it as a great recording, I could, or just to get some idea of whether they understand the book terminology or not. It also breaks it down by question to see whether students able to what what their responses were. So at the bottom of the screen, it has the questions broken down. My first question was which numbers are the factors in this equation? So the students had to be able to find out which numbers in this equation were factors. Which factors was one of our vocabulary terms. And as you can see, 82.35% of students were able to get that correct. So this is just a general overview of the way I use Kahoot in my classroom. Next, you have number talks and number sense. Number sense is Number sense often refers to a student's flexibility with numbers. If a student has good number sense, they have a good sense of what numbers mean, how they can understand numbers related to each other, and are able to perform mental and is able to perform mental math. Students with good number sense understand the symbolic representation of numbers and are able to apply those numbers and symbols in real world situations. Number Talks is an effective resource that helps guide teachers developing effective, purposeful discussions. So here in my example, I have an example of a classroom where the students were solving the expression 15 plus 14. And as you can see, the students were able to think flexibly in their process of solving and getting an accurate sum. And I see evidence of students using um, double facts, Devontae and Calvin. I see evidence of students adding in chunks here where they're decomposing one of the add-ins by place value, and also here. And here the teacher was able to record nothing is done in algorithm form, but here it shows where the teacher is recording on the number line, and here where she's joining add-ins by place value. And also here where she records the student's thinking as he was thinking aloud, relating it to a double fact. This is an awesome example of what a number talks would look like in a second grade classroom. Investigations in numbers, data, and space is a K through second mathematics curriculum used in Arlington ISD to engage students in making sense of mathematical ideas. One of the goals of investigations is to support students' ability to make sense of mathematics and to learn that they can be mathematical thinkers. The investigation curriculum is the official resource for Arlington ISD K through second classroom. Investigations can be accessed online through um, it can be accessed online through Pearson Realize or Pearson Success Net. I apologize. And if you click on log in, it will redirect you to the Pearson Learning Bridge, and you'll click on the Pearson Learning Bridge, and it will take you to your online resources. In the video, you'll see here an example of a student recording one of Pearson's journal prompts in their journal, and they're able to show their reflection here of how they would what add-ins would add up to 18. And here's an example of Jasmine's notebook. Moving forward, we have the Quantile Framework for Mathematics. Quantile Framework for Mathematics can help you quickly find instructional material that aligns to the state standards. The Math Skills database is a quick way to find level resources that match your state standards. The Quantile Teacher Assistant can help you find resources to plan lesson plans and develop formative assessments that align with the state standards. So looking here at the Quantile's framework, on the website you'll see here, once you type in the address, if you scroll down, you can click on educator. And once you're there, you can scroll down some and you can align instruction with state standards, and you can search the database based on your standard. And once you search that database based on your standards, then it will pull up lessons that match that state standard. It is an awesome resource to use within your classroom. Illuminations is also another great resource that can be used in the classroom. Illuminations is a project designed by NCTM, the National Council of Teachers of Mathematics. Illuminations works to serve teachers by increasing access to quality standards-based resources for teaching and learning mathematics, including interactive tools for students and instructional support for teachers. Illumination resources include lessons and interactive searchables by NCTM principles and standards. These resources include over 700 lesson plans, 100 activities, virtual manipulatives, applets, and games. So here I have the page for Illuminations pulled up. And if you go and type in the address in your location bar, you'll come to its home page, which is this page here. And you can search by your grade level. And you can also type search in based on the math standards or the reporting categories. And I'm just going to search a lesson based on number and operations, which is a reporting category that is found in the Unit 3 TEKS or the Unit 3 bundle. And here are numerous lessons that can be applicable to the TEKS that are listed. Please check with your instructional coach to make sure that this lesson or any lesson used from Illuminations aligns with the state standard. Teachers, thank you for watching. I hope that your planning is happy and purposeful. And if you have any other questions or any other concerns, please contact the math department, or you can email me at kwaters@aisd.net. Happy planning.